It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to inspire, our mission is to empower, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hardworking entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Guy Balan. Did I get that right?
Balan.
Guy Balan, who's in the building. We're talking about overcoming limiting beliefs. Rewrite your story. What's up, Guy? How are you, my friend?
I'm well. How about you, Shay?
Good. Thanks for being here today. We appreciate it. Now, I'm curious. I know it's going to sound like addressing the elephant in the room. We're talking about overcoming limiting beliefs. So I've got to ask the reverse question. Why are people in today's age, no matter when you're watching this broadcast, why are they still struggling with just having the right belief system to live the life they really deserve? I mean, they've got Instagram these days. They got YouTube these days. They got so many resources. Why are they struggling, man?
What happens, Shay, is usually, when people are growing up, a lot of time they get in situation where people are telling them they can't do something, right? So they hear this voice and then incorporate it into their thinking, and then they start believing that they cannot do it. So it does take them a little bit of work to eventually get over that. But that limiting belief that had been built over the years just stays with them, and it becomes difficult to overcome. And as I'm sure you've heard many times, you got to believe it for it to be possible. So if you don't believe it's even possible, it's a challenge to even attempt to get to it.
So what do you say to the person that's listening right now? We have a lot of folks that are dualpreneurs. They're like, wait a minute. Does Guy know I'm busy? Does he understand that I have a husband or I have a wife? Does he also understand I've got kids and they have their own activities? Does he not understand that I'm very busy at work and I'm trying to believe that I can do everything? Oh, and by the way, does he know I'm a caregiver and I'm involved in my community? Now, I'm not saying that's everybody, but I know some folks are listening right now. They're saying, well, what does it say to the person that believes they should be living a much higher life than they are now, but they're so bogged down with all the other stuff they got to do for other people, they don't have time for themselves? Now, this might be an unreasonable question, Guy, but yeah, I'm just curious. What do you say to the person is like, I want to live a better life, but I'm just busy?
You just have to understand what it is that you really want and what's important for you, and then try to find the time to get it done, right? Because as you said, we have a lot of things that are taking our time, getting us really busy throughout the day. So if you really want to do something, you have to figure out what's important for you and kind of start prioritize it and make sure that you give it the right time to get it done.
And so one of your gifts, helping people not only believe, is helping them achieve the results. And that's one of the gifts that you have. So for the person out there, we'll talk to two individuals if we can. Let's talk to two individuals. Let's first talk to the entrepreneur. And this is the person that is has been struggling, I'll say that, to really get the revenue, to have the clients they want. And again, it's a loaded question, but just from a belief perspective, what would you say to that person that's watching, that's tried a few things, didn't work out, and they want to get back in the race again, and they're like, gosh, is this for me? What would you say to that person that's listening?
I would say keep going, because the challenge most entrepreneur feels actually is that when things get really hard, and instead of pushing through, a lot of them kind of lose faith and go the other way around. And instead, if they had kind of stuck around and pushed through, they would have made it, actually. That have been shown over and over again. So I would say push through, because once you're doing things as an entrepreneur, you also having the opportunity to learn. So yes, you have to tweak what you're doing from time to time to make sure you get there, but keep going and continue to learn, have a growth mindset, understand that your failures are opportunities for you to learn and grow. Then you can continue to build on what you've built and then continue to achieve some success.
Then they're listening and saying, well, Shay, this guy Guy is talking a whole lot. He's saying you need to believe and just go for it. But who is this person? I didn't get a chance to read the bio. Okay. And I know some of you did read the bio. Some of you already Googled them. Some of you already looked it up. You showed up ready to say, Shay, I want to know the 3 or 4 things that I need to do to raise my belief and get to another level. We'll get to that in a moment, but we're going to slow down. And I'm going to ask the question, if I can, if you don't mind sharing. Tell the audience, everybody don't know you, man. Who are you, number one? And number 2, what's the backstory that led to the defining moment where you said to yourself, you know what? I'm born to help people, not only believe, but get the results they want in life.
Yeah, so a little bit about me, Shay. I spent the last 10 years, I was running a private equity firm in Haiti. I Before going to Haiti, I actually was working on Wall Street. I was at Lehman Brothers and Oppenheimer. I went to NYU Business School. But 10 years ago, after the earthquake, the terrible earthquake that devastated the country, I just felt the need to go back and help out and start with a private equity firm that would actually invest in businesses and try to change the country by creating jobs. So, and what you said to me about me in terms of belief is, Shay, I've had a lot of success in my life. Went to NYU Business School, went to Lehman Brothers, but throughout that time, I also had a lot of stress and anxiety based on imposter syndromes, some self-doubt. And really, it really came down to a point where I realized that no one was going to save me. I had to save myself, and really kind of started to pay attention on what I was doing and building ways to continue to build my confidence and start, because a lot of time you realize those thoughts that are holding you back are in your head, really, and realize there was nothing else that's happening. So really taking the time to do some self-discovery, some soul searching, and really kind of started believing, and that started seeing difference, started seeing more results. And basically, I just came back here about a year ago because of the gang violence that was happening in Haiti, and I'm in the process of rebuilding completely. And it's still that same belief that, hey, I was able to go to Haiti, and created a private equity firm, also created other businesses, and nothing about me is special. It's really about keep having that belief and wanting to create work with others and build businesses that got me there. So when I came back here, one of the things I've always enjoyed a lot with working with private equity was really working with the entrepreneurs and helping them grow their business and help them achieve success that they did not think was attainable. And for me, it came down to really helping them having the right internal structure, the right financial structure, but also having the right belief system that they can do it. Because a lot of time the issues is with the entrepreneur themselves. They're tripping themselves up. Like you said, they have a lot of self-doubt that's holding them back. So I've gone through that experience myself and gone through. I've also worked with a coach that helped me overcome a lot of some of the beliefs that I had. And I just kind of want to help others to not go through the type of stress and anxiety that I went through while I was building my career, because a lot of time those limiting beliefs are holding us back, and they are from our own doing, our own thinking.
How did it feel when you were able to go back home and help folks out, man, and be in a position to really help? How did that feel?
That was amazing, Shay. Really, invest like I run a private equity where we are investing in large companies, but I
Mhm.
also, with my wife, was able to create some beauty salon chains, and really kind of had like over 100 employees, and that really made a difference. Seeing how it impacted their life, created like a really family feeling inside the business, and make sure that they were able to take their kids to school. We even pay for some health insurance and all of that. That was one of the greatest feeling I've had in my life. Really kind of being able to go back and create jobs and really have a positive impact on a lot of different people there.
If you had to, for the person that's listening right now, and this is one of the moments they waited for, where you're able to share maybe 1, 2, or 3 things that everyone needs to do in order to really just raise their belief.
Hmm.
And again, it's a broad question, because I know belief means different things to different people. And one of the things I want to do when we first started, and I apologize I didn't for those folks that are watching, we want to get his definition of what does it mean when you have a belief system? Like, what's his view of the world. When he says the word belief, what does it mean to Guy? So we understand that. And then, Guy, if you can share maybe 3 things that someone can do to really raise their belief. So part 1 of the question, and he can handle this, ladies and gentlemen, he's just fine, is what's your definition of belief? And why is that so important? Just so we can all be on the same page. Then number 2, give them 1, 2, or 3 things they can do to kind of help them raise their beliefs in themselves.
Shay, interestingly enough, one of the books that I really kind of sparked my personal development was The 5 Love Languages.
Love it.
And reading that book, I ended up seeing how 2 people can love each other and be in the same house and see the world completely different. So our belief system are things that I've built over the years. And if you see the world as gray, the world is gray. If you see the world as green, the world is green. So that's kind of a mindset. What's our mindset that really the way we interpret situation that really kind of drive the way we feel about things and can drive our behaviors. To me, that's our belief system, right? So how do we see situation? How do we interpret them based on our past experience? And how do we choose to respond to them? Uh, 3 things that people can really do to help them improve their beliefs in themselves. First one is really understanding their whys. Really understand what is important to you and why, like your value system, and why do you want to achieve the things you want to achieve in life. That's a big component in developing your belief system. Uh, for me, a second thing that people can do to grow their belief system is when they're in a situation, understand that their own interpretation is not the only interpretation of what's happening. So a lot of time we're in a situation, our first response is basically something that we've experienced in the past. So sometimes you got to take a minute to breathe and say, why am I feeling this way? And why am I seeing the situation this way? And this allows you to take a step back, and this can help you shift your perspective and help you see the situation completely different. Uh, the second one, the third one is really kind of take some time to understand. That's the tough one, right? When you have those doubts, when you have those fears, to be able to step back and say, why, right? And look at this interpretation you have of the situation. Is it the only one? And how can you shift it?
And as you were saying that, how can they shift it? There's 2 things that came to mind. Number 1, you also included after you raise your belief system, you've got to rewrite your story.
Yes.
And if you can, for the audience that's listening, can you break down why that was the second piece and so important? After you overcome your belief, then you got to rewrite your story. Take a moment and just share what you meant by that, please.
What I mean by that is it's not easy to change, right? If you've been doing something the same way for the last 10 years, even if you realize, hey, this is kind of my own belief system and it needs to change, it's not always easy to do. So rewriting, once you accept that, okay, this needs to change, and you need to take real steps to really on a daily basis stuck to that new belief system until it becomes your new reality. And to me, that's part of rewriting your story, because a lot of us in situation, we know we need to change and we start making the necessary change. And then when things get hard, we revert back to where we were before. So it requires us to really decide we're going to change, we're going to rewrite this story, and then take the necessary steps to make sure that we do it and we hold ourselves accountable, and even have people that we know, loved ones, hold us accountable to make sure that we stick to that change. And after a while, it becomes second nature to you, right?
Yeah. And as we're listening, by the way, I know they're wondering, Shay, what is Guy's love language? I have no idea, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why they're wondering. They're curious. They're nosy. I know they're nosy. They've got to be nosy. So you don't have to be built if you don't want to, because I mean it's not that important. They're just curious, man.
It's funny because I always felt it was more touch, right? But one other thing I do realize, I do appreciate a lot when people let me know that I'm doing something good for them, and they appreciate that. That's a very important love language
Yeah,
for me.
me too. I was just like you. Maybe it was a guy thing. I don't know. I was like, nah, I'm not touch. I don't need to read all that stuff. But then when I read the book, I was like, nah, tell me I did a good job. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that a little bit. Yeah, yeah. So okay, I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all was curious, so I thought I'd ask the question. Um, right now, up until now, everyone's probably thinking his life's been perfect. And we
Hmm.
have this segment on the show called Today is My January 1st. And we're going to
Hmm.
find out maybe the time when things weren't perfect for you. But for those folks that are hearing this for the very first time, today is my January 1st is one of our segments that we do. And it represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means your past, no matter how dark, no matter how bright, it no longer equals the future. And so my question for Guy right now is when he hears those words, today is my January 1st, what does he hear? But more importantly, where was a time where things weren't perfect for him, where there was some setback that he had to bounce back from? And maybe life's been perfect. I don't know, but we're going to find out right now. So tell us, two-part question. When you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And number two, what was one of the setbacks you had, man, in your journey on life that you had to bounce back from?
It's interesting you asked this question because I'm feeling I'm living it right now because having come back here about a year ago, I ended up leaving the private equity I was working with since I was mostly here, and I felt like you needed to be on the ground to really have the impact you wanted. And I kind of really have to start all over, Shay. And really, I had been interested in working as a coach, so I really kind of been launching this business. So it's yeah, I've gotten some success, but it's still a challenge, and it's really kind of just looking at it as a new opportunity, a new career shift for me. uh, so it's everything, as I said, like you said, everything you've had in the back of your head, that all these times that you've tried something new, it didn't work out. These feelings still come up, but kind of looking forward to just instead of complaining and feeling like, what, with everything that's happening in Haiti and blaming the politician, blaming the gangs leaders, I'm just see this as an opportunity to restart fresh. My daughters are here now. I can spend more time with them and they get to experience a whole new life. And I'm just really excited about the opportunities that I see in front of me.
Mm.
So, you know, the second part of the questions, life has not, I've had some success, but life have not been perfect. As I said, I really did struggled with a lot of anxiety and pastor syndromes. And that's really kind of one of the things that drives me into really helping people overcome some of their limiting beliefs, because I feel that a lot of that was unnecessary. And, I grew up in a culture where we don't really think about getting a coach and work with a coach. So really kind of been really wanting to let people in our community know that they can work with a coach that can really help them and help them improve their mindset and develop the growth mindset that can really uh, help drive success into their life.
And one of my favorite questions to ask, thanks for sharing. We appreciate it, by the way, and being authentic with the audience. One of my favorite questions to ask is what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given, right? And it's a loaded question, which means for the audience, let me frame it for the audience. That Guy has had so many mentors on this journey of life, read a lot of books, maybe watched a lot of videos, some mentors he may have never, ever met in his life. But if he had to step back and give you one piece of advice that's near and dear to his heart, that he just wants to share with you, what would it be? That's the question. And you, the audience, you get to lean in now because you get to take away one idea that maybe he was taught that you can now use in your own life. So that's the question, Guy. What's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given?
The best piece of advice I've given, and it took me a while to accept it and I fully understand it, was that, hey, you are responsible for your life. This guy was telling me, hey, if even if you walk outside and you get struck by lightning, think about it as it's your fault. So, but I get the point that he was trying to tell me, was that no one was going to come and save me. There were other people that I could talk to if I wanted information, But at the end of the day, it was up to me to decide where I wanted to go and take actions to get me there. So that to me has been the biggest advice that I've received when I look back of the biggest transformation I've had in my life. Even when I was struggling with things, but wanting to be in control of my destiny, wanting to make sure that I was able to pay for my daughter's college tuition, all these things, and really kind of taking it in and saying, I am responsible for making this happen, have really kind of been the biggest impact, the most powerful thing I've heard in my life.
What do you do when you're not out saving the world, man? What do you do for fun these days?
you know, and going to the zoo, I have a 5-year-old, so yesterday was her birthday, so we literally had a birthday party for her on Saturday. So just really, my other daughter, who's in law school, came down and spent some time with us in Miami. So it was a great time to spend time with the family.
Oh man, that is so cool. And when the day comes, and it will come for all of us, how does Guy want to be remembered? By the way, I know it's not a sober question, but you look back and at some point, you want people to say, I knew Guy because he was blank. What type of person you want them to remember you as, my man?
Honestly, I really want to serve and help people reach what they set out to reach in their life. When I was you asked me what was it like to go back in AD and be able to create jobs. I met a lot of people that told me like how much the fact that I was able to hire them, and even when they needed extra funds for their kids, school, and all of that, I was always ready and willing to help and support. So I just if I want to be remembered, I would like to be remembered as someone who served, someone who cared about people's success, someone who wanted to see people do well, and who put a lot of energy and himself into helping others achieve what they wanted to achieve in this lifetime.
Mm. So well said, man. So well said. Two-part question. We come down the home stretch. Number one is, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days, if any? And number two, how can folks best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation with you over and beyond the time that you and I have right now?
Okay. I really love working with professionals in the corporate world, or people that are looking to start their business, who, like professional in the corporate world, trying to go up the ladders and need some help, really kind of getting their mindset and some leadership skills. But I also love working with people in terms of helping them create their own business and really have the right mindset to understand what it takes for them to make that shift. So that's the type of clients that I really enjoy working with. Uh, in terms of reach me, can be reached at GUY at boostperformers.com. And the name of my company is Boost Performers. So you can check my website. It's www.boostperformers.com.
Ah, let me say thank you so much, man, for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks a lot, Shay. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. And thank you to audience. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Without you, well, there's no show, by the way. So thank you for sharing this. Thank you for paying this message forward. Follow us over on IG or YouTube to type in at I am Che Brown. Make sure you follow us and stay in this conversation. I never get tired every night at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time sharing this with you, that you are so awesome, that you really are amazing. No matter what's going on in your life, how well you're doing or how well you think you should be doing, as you're listening right now, you're making a huge impact on the world and you're making a difference. And today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason, I believe for you, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name still hasn't changed. Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless. Wish you success. Thanks a lot, Guy. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Peace.